Why does Europe have no tech giants to rival Silicon Valley? I mean, think about that for a minute. The US has Google, Apple, Amazon, and Microsoft. Asia has Tencent, Alibaba, and Samsung. But Europe? I mean, to put it bluntly, the EU barely has a tech industry to speak of at all. Even Europe's few success stories often look to the United States in order to thrive. The continent's biggest tech name, Spotify, well, it moved its headquarters to New York. As a result, the EU has become a training ground for talent that builds companies somewhere else. But this wasn't always the case. I mean, for centuries, Europe led the world in innovation. Think of the printing press, the steam engine, the Industrial Revolution. All of these things transformed the world as we know it, from tech to innovation, communication, transportation, you name it. All of these things came out of Europe. But in the 21st century, the continent has fallen behind. And the reason why becomes pretty clear when you look closely. For starters, Europe's overregulation and tax code makes it almost impossible for tech companies to even get off the ground. Consider this: a tech worker in Germany or France pays an effective tax rate of nearly 50%. In the US, that number is closer to 37%. As a result, the difference in disposable income is staggering, and it's driving Europe's best talent to move to places like Silicon Valley and Austin in order to find work. Perhaps the bigger crisis is actually found in the overall culture. In the US, entrepreneurs are still celebrated, and startups are seen as engines of progress. In Europe, entrepreneurship is viewed with skepticism and even open hostility. And the consequences of this mindset are devastating. Talent is fleeing Europe at an alarming rate. Engineers are leaving for higher salaries and better opportunities in the US, while others relocate to low-cost destinations like Bali in order to maximize their income. And the few remaining startups can't compete with the resources of Silicon Valley. As a result, Europe is stuck constantly playing catch-up in a global economy dominated by tech. And over the past decade, the EU has almost completely given up on the tech industry, instead choosing to simply regulate American companies. Ultimately, this strategy of regulating instead of innovating shows exactly why Europe has fallen so far behind. Building an industry takes bold ideas, risk-taking, and a culture that celebrates entrepreneurship, not endless bureaucracy and high taxes. And until Europe embraces that reality, it will remain on the sidelines while the rest of the world continues to build the future.